Hello, my name is Morgan Waller, and this podcast is Literary Looks, where we will be reading so many amazing pieces written by women, about women, and they're for anyone to read truly. We are going to be looking into so many different pieces of literature that highlight women and focus on feminist issues. The first book that I have chosen for a twice-a-month book club will be on Fridays from 4:30 to 5:30, starting tonight, January 16th. The first book chosen is We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is a fantastic Nigerian author, and she is most known for her fiction pieces or her TED Talk titled The Danger of the Single Story. She is such a brilliant author. There is a poetic essence in everything with how she writes. And I have read a few of her pieces, and truly every writing I am absorbed, and it makes me love it even more and more. And honestly, most of my book requests that I've asked for over the holidays were her pieces. She is most known for Purple Hibiscus, Americana, and she also came out with a newer novel called Dream Count. She does a lot of mixture of either fiction novels or nonfiction, and this book, We Should All Be Feminist, is super quick, super easy, and nonfiction. I like to think of it as a palate cleanser read. It is so easy, it's 48 pages, but it's amazing, and it's so thought-provoking too. So, this book is perfect for the post-holiday stress, the New Year's resolutions, or if you need a little escape from life. It's a great book, and if you have a reading goal of books that you want to finish for the end of the year, like I do, it is so nice having a shorter book to start your year off. In We Should All Be Feminist, she has an introduction, and it's this. This is a modified version of a talk I delivered in December 2012 at TEDx Eston, a yearly conference focused on Africa. Speakers from diverse fields deliver concise talks aimed at challenging and inspiring Africans and friends of Africa. I had spoken at a different TED conference a few years before, giving a talk titled The Danger of the Single Story, about how stereotypes limit and shape our thinking, especially about Africa. It seems to me that the word feminist and the idea of feminism itself is also limited by stereotypes. When my brother Chuck's and best friend Ike, both co-organizers of TEDx Eston conference, insisted that I speak, I could not say no. I decided to speak about feminism because it is something I feel strongly about. I suspected that it might not be a very popular subject, but I hoped to start a necessary conversation. And so, that evening, as I stood on stage, I felt as though I was in the presence of family, a kind and attentive audience, but one that might resist the subject of my talk. At the end, their standing ovation gave me hope. Now, her writing style and central focus on the fact that we should all be feminists is broken down in such a kind, intelligent, and sometimes very tongue-in-cheek way. At one point in the novel, she jokes about how everyone has such loaded stereotypes to the word feminist that whenever they hear it, they have all varying ideas that come to mind full of stereotypes and prejudices. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction that people have when they hear the word feminist. Whether it's feminists just hate men, feminists are bitter or single, or wear heels for attention, or don't wear makeup, whatever the reason is. There is that involuntary prejudice and stereotype that gets projected on the word. She breaks it down in such an elegant and eloquent way about what the word actually means and how the plethora of stereotypes that we project onto it are harmful. And she does it in such a kind, funny way. She has this dialogue very early into the novel about what a feminist is, what her experience learning about feminism was like, and the first time she was called a feminist. She breaks down all the many different ways that we should be feminist in a society that does not encourage it. She is a Nigerian author and spends half her time in Nigeria and half her time in America. And she breaks down what her experiences was like, both in Nigeria and in America. These experiences that she had, and how even starting to raise questions as simple as, like, If someone opens the door for one person and says thank you to the man, or only acknowledges them and not the woman, it makes you start thinking about the little moments within our own life and the itty bitty, tiny, insignificant moments that shape our society and how we view feminists and women. She brings awareness to that with such a kindness, because while she says herself that she is angry, she talks about it in a way that is so intellectual that even though she is angry and it's fueling it, she is still raising a very good argument because she is angry, because of that anger. She feels thoughts and having a conversation and dialogue created. It's all there about how feminist rights are simply human rights. With this communication of having compassion, where she just wants a dialogue started, changes how the piece is read. It's as simple as that. Human rights are feminist rights. So with this novel, this very short, like I said, palate cleanser of a read, it will be thought-provoking, moving, and at the very least, really good to read. So I hope to see you come to Literary Looks tonight, and it will always be the first and third Friday of the month where we will be reading feminist literature. I hope to see you there, and I hope that you return for more literary looks to come.